Let's discuss about Bell-Coleman refrigeration cycle in this lecture. First, let's understand its working principle, schematic diagram. See, the Bell-Coleman cycle, it is a reversed Brayton cycle. So, Brayton cycle in gas power cycles we have already studied. So, it's if we operate the Brayton cycle in the reverse direction, so it will act as a refrigeration cycle or Bell-Coleman refrigeration cycle. It uses gas as a working fluid, that is refrigerant. So, here the main components used in the Bell-Coleman cycle are: first one, we have the compressor. This is the compressor device, and we send the air inside it. So, it compresses the air. So, then it sends to the next device, that is heat exchanger device. We call it as intercooler in Bell-Coleman cycle. In the problem statement they will mention it as an intercooler. So, please remember the next device is intercooler here. So, the next after that, the air which rejects heat energy into surroundings, that is warm region, Q2 amount of heat, then gets cooled. So, comes out at state 3, then the air enters the next device called as turbine or expander. Then the air expands, air or gas, that is the refrigerant working inside the Bell-Coleman cycle. So, which undergoes expansion in the expander or turbine. So, then after expansion, again the air or gas, whatever the working fluid is there, comes out at state 4, then enters the cold chamber. So, we call it as a cold chamber instead of evaporator. So, we call it as a cold chamber in Bell-Coleman cycle. So, it absorbs heat energy from the refrigerated space or cold region. So, that from the cold region. What is cold region? The region where temperature is to be decreased below atmospheric temperature. So, it absorbs Q1 amount of heat energy. Again, the air or gas working fluid, which is after absorbing Q1 amount of heat energy, it comes out at state 1. Then it again enters back into the compressor. So, thus the cycle is completed. So, if we execute the cycle in this way, the cycle is called as a Bell-Coleman cycle. So, it is a ideal cycle. So, here what all we should remember is, so the components involved in the Bell-Coleman cycle. So, that is first one is compressor, second one is intercooler, third one is expander, fourth one is cold chamber. So, cold chamber absorbs heat energy from the cold space, and again the intercooler rejects heat energy into the warm region. So, this is the schematic arrangement of Bell-Coleman cycle. So, then again as you know, the function of the compressor is to compress the air. So, that is it compresses it isentropically, that is 1 to 2 process is isentropic compression inside the compressor. So, 2 to 3 is intercooling. So, air gets cooled in the intercooler. So, then again 3 to 4 is expansion inside the expander or turbine, we can say. So, that is isentropic expansion. Then again 4 to 1 is inside the cold chamber. So, there is a constant pressure heat absorption. So, this is a constant pressure process. So, if I consider all these 4 processes, then I can plot the pressure volume diagram. So, this is the pressure volume diagram that we can understand for this cycle. So, here as you know, 1 to 2 is isentropic compression, 1 to 2 is isentropic compression. So, as I compress, the volume reduces and pressure increases. So, 1 to 2 we have represented. So, this is a isentropic compression mentioned on the PV diagram, isentropic compression mentioned on the PV diagram. Then 2 to 3. So, if you look into the schematic diagram, 2 to 3 is intercooling process where pressure is maintained constant. So, the pressure is P2 is equal to P3, constant pressure line on the PV diagram is a horizontal line. So, 2 to 3 we have represented. So, therefore, pressure P2 is equal to P3 in the Bell-Coleman cycle. So, then 3 to 4 is expansion as we observe on the screen. So, 3 to 4 is expansion. So during expansion volume increases, pressure decreases. So this is the nature of curve, but it is isentropic expansion. So it is mentioned on the PV diagram. So 4 to 1 it is a constant pressure heat absorption process. So in the cold chamber, as we have discussed just now, so it is a constant pressure process. So therefore P1 is equal to P4, constant pressure line on a PV diagram is a horizontal line. So P1 equal to P4 is indicated on this PV diagram. So this is about the PV diagram for the Bell-Coleman cycle. So after this we will understand the temperature entropy diagram for the Bell-Coleman cycle. So here, as we know on this TS diagram, so this is the constant pressure line, P1 pressure line, so that is cold chamber pressure, or you can say the evaporator pressure, and again P2 is the condenser pressure line, constant pressure line. So this is P1 pressure line, this is P2 pressure line, both are constant pressure lines. So now we compress the air during the process 1 to 2 isentropic compression isentropically. So the isentropic means entropy means constant entropy line is a vertical line on TS diagram. So 1 to 2, so we are representing vertical. So we are compressing from P1 pressure to P2 pressure inside the compressor. So this is the first process that we represented. Then again 2 to 3 wherein constant pressure remains constant here, pressure remains constant during 2 to 3, but heat gets rejected. So that is Q2 amount of heat is rejected into warm space outside. So there 2 to 3, but because of heat rejection there is a decrease in temperature. So temperature reduces from T2 to T3. So T2 to T3 the temperature decreases and entropy also decreases. So that is the reason we draw the TS diagram in this way. So then again 3 to 4 is a expansion process. As we look into the turbine, 3 to 4 is expansion process. So wherein the pressure decreases from higher pressure, that is P2 pressure to P1 pressure, P2 pressure to P1 pressure. So but it is a isentropic expansion. So isentropic line on the TS diagram is a vertical line. So 3 to 4, so we represent as a vertical line on the TS diagram between P1 and P2. And 4 to 1 is heat absorption at constant pressure. So here the pressure is constant, but heat is added into the cycle. So during 4 to 1 at constant pressure P1, but because of heat absorption there is an increase in temperature, that is from T4 to T1, T4 to T1 there is an increase in temperature because of heat absorption. So and there is increase in entropy also. So hence the cycle is represented. Hope you have understood the temperature entropy diagram for the Bell-Coleman cycle. So here the Brayton refrigeration cycle is a reversed Brayton power cycle. So as I told in the beginning of this discussion, so please remember so how the cycle is executed. So we need to remember this TS diagram, very important for solving the numericals, and PV diagram also should be remembered, how the pressure are constant and what are the nomenclature. So remembering the nomenclature is very important. So now let us go ahead. See the processes. What are the processes? Just now I told you orally the process. Now first process 1 to 2 is isentropic compression process. So process 1 to 2 is isentropic compression process, and again here the refrigerant is gas, which may be air, enters the compressor at state 1 and it is compressed to state 2. So here this is the process 1 to 2. So next process coming to it is animated on the screen. So now here 2 to 3 is constant pressure cooling process. So constant pressure cooling process from this 2 to 3 here. So here is 2, this is 3, between 2 to 3 it is cooling process. So heat is rejected, the gas is cooled by the heat transfer to the warm region at temperature TH. Now let us see the animation on the screen. So this is 2 to 3 process, and again here 3 to 4 isentropic expansion process. Isentropic expansion process, gas expands through the turbine to state 4. So where temperature T4 is well below the Tc, that is temperature of the gas. T4 is very less than Tc, so that heat flows into the gas. So, this is the expansion animation. So, then again 4 to 1 is constant pressure expansion process. So, constant pressure expansion process wherein heat is absorbed and it is animated. Okay. So, the work developed by the turbine assists in driving the compressor in this. So, this is the pressure that is minimum pressure of the cycle, cold chamber pressure, and this is intercooler pressure. So, let us look into the animation. So, this is 1 to 2 process, that is isentropic compression. So, 2 to 3 constant pressure heat rejection, 3 to 4 expansion isentropic expansion, 4 to 1 is constant pressure heat absorption in the cycle. So, let us do the thermal analysis for this cycle, that is Bell-Coleman cycle. So, here COP is the important parameter in refrigeration cycles. So, we need to calculate the COP of Bell-Coleman cycle, very important discussion we are doing. So, here for analyzing the cycle, heat absorbed, we take into consideration COP as heat absorbed, that is we know from the definition heat absorbed, that is refrigeration effect divided by work input to the Bell-Coleman cycle. So, work input we can say that it is nothing but heat rejected in the Bell-Coleman cycle minus heat absorbed. So, first let us write the equation for refrigeration effect, that is during process 4 to 1. So, wherein we are absorbing heat energy in the TS diagram, it is very clear. So, this is the QA that is absorbed, sometimes we can call it as Q1 also. So, QA is Q4 to 1. So, that is nothing but the enthalpy H1 minus H4. Okay. So, that is QA is equal to QA, I can write it as enthalpy at state 1 minus enthalpy at state 4. So, this can be written as Cp into T1 minus T4, you know that Cp into T1 minus T4. So, why I am using this equation? Because I am considering the cold chamber as a steady flow energy device. So, the heat absorbed is equal to the change in enthalpy of the air. So, therefore, QA is H1 minus H4, that is Cp into T1 minus T4 I have written. So, then after this, work done during the cycle per kg of air, work done during the cycle. So, this is the cycle we have work done during this cycle. So, where is the work interaction? So, here we are supplying WC, that is compression work, and again here it is developing expansion work WE, or we can also call it as a WT for this. So, this is the work interaction. So, therefore, WC I am doing the work on the compressor, it is minus work supplied minus work developed, that is net work. So, which will be equal to net heat interactions in the cycle. So, this is the QA heat absorbed and this is heat rejected. Okay. So, here heat is rejected. So, I am rejecting the heat energy QR. So, the net heat interaction is QR minus QA. So, therefore, heat rejected minus heat absorbed can be treated as a net work interaction in the cycle. So, therefore, net work done, the discussion was according to the basic thermodynamics concept, because in any cycle the algebraic sum of all the work interactions is equal to algebraic sum of all the heat interactions from the basic thermodynamics we know. The same concept we have applied here. So, therefore, work done during the cycle per kg of air, per kg of air. So that is nothing but heat rejected minus heat absorbed. Just now I told you this is heat rejected QR minus QA. So QR is, so where we are rejecting the heat energy, so we are rejecting the heat energy during the process, we are rejecting the heat energy during the process 2 to 3 here, 2 to 3, that is H2 minus S3, enthalpy at state 2 minus enthalpy at state 3. So therefore heat rejected QR I can write it as Cp, or before that H2 minus H3. So this can be written as Cp into T2 minus T3. So the same equation I can use. And again, where we are absorbing heat energy, so we are absorbing heat energy between the process 4 to 1. So this is nothing but Q absorbed QA, or small QA also is acceptable. So QA we already know in the previous discussion, that is H1 minus H4. So that is Cp into T1 minus T4. So the same expression I will substitute here, that is heat rejected is Cp into T2 minus T3, heat absorbed is Cp into T1 minus T4. So in the cycle. So now after calculating the heat absorbed, that is refrigeration effect. Heat absorbed is nothing but refrigeration effect. What is refrigeration effect? Refrigeration effect is the quantity of heat absorbed per kg of refrigerant circulating inside a refrigerator. So from the definition we know that is nothing but heat absorbed. So here heat absorbed QA divided by work done, we discussed just now, it is QR minus QA. So why it is QR minus QA? Because WC minus WT or WE, that is net work interaction, is equal to net heat interaction inside the cycle. So net heat interaction is heat rejected minus heat absorbed. So we have the expression for QR and QA. So just we have substituted the expressions that were known to us, that is QA is Cp into T1 minus T4, QR is Cp into T2 minus T3, and again QA we have substituted. So among this Cp is common, Cp is common, so we can cancel Cp from the denominator and numerator. The remaining terms we have written. So after that let us proceed with the mathematics and finalize the COP expression. So here let me take T4 common from the numerator. So if I take T4 common, it will be T1 upon T4 minus 1 into T4 divided by, let me take T3 common from the first bracket of the denominator. So if I take T3 common, it will be T2 by T3 minus T1, and let me take T4 common from the second bracket of the denominator. So if I take T4 common, it will be T1 divided by T4 minus T1. So this is the next step. Let us proceed with the derivation. See, since the processes are isentropic, we can apply the isentropic laws. For the processes, isentropic processes. So here 1 to 2 process is isentropic process. So from the TS diagram we know it is a isentropic process. 1 to 2 process is a isentropic process. For this process I can apply the isentropic law. So the law we had discussed in the gas power cycle, that is Brayton cycle. So how this law is arrived, or how this law is developed, we have discussed already in the gas power cycles. So according to the isentropic law for the temperature and pressure in isentropic process, so if I apply T2 by T1 is equal to P2 by P1 bracket raised to the power gamma minus 1 divided by gamma, where gamma is Cp upon Cv. So here from this law we can apply similar law for another isentropic process in the Bell-Coleman cycle, that is 3 to 4 process. So, according to that law, we can write T3 upon T4 is equal to P3 upon P4 bracket raised to the power gamma minus 1 divided by gamma. So, now from the PV diagram and TS diagram, we know that the pressures are equal. So, let me look here, let me show here. So, we know that P2 is equal to P3 and again P1 is equal to P4. So, both pressures are same. So, then we will replace the pressure ratios. Same conditions I am referring from this diagram, same conditions I am referring here. P2 is equal to P3, P1 is equal to P4. So, therefore, in equation 2 and 3. So, what are the equations 2 and 3? This is equation number 2, this is equation number 3. Okay. So, from 2 and 3 we can write that T2 upon T1, that is LHS, and both left hand sides will be equal. So, because in the equation 3 I can replace P3 by P2, so then again P4 by P1, so that both RHS will be same. So, hence I can equate LHSs. So, hence T2 upon T1 is equal to T3 upon T4. So, then again according to simple algebra, so I can rearrange this, that is T2 upon T3. So, T3 I am bringing here. So, then again T1 I am taking it above. So, I can rearrange this, that is T2 upon T3 is equal to T1 upon T4. So, I am calling this as equation number 4. So, now again we have the equation 1 that is developed by us, that is equation 1. Here in this equation, let us use the relation that we have developed, that is equation number 4. Let us substitute in this, means T1 upon T4, T2 upon T1 and T1 upon T4. So, both all these 3 terms will be equal according to the temperature ratio. So, if I substitute in this, the temperature ratios gets cancelled. So, we get the COP as T4 upon T3 minus T4. So, again if I rearrange this equation, so 1 divided by T4 I am taking it to the denominator. So, 1 divided by T3 divided by T4 minus 1, and I will replace this T3 upon T4 with a pressure ratio. So, according to the isentropic law that we have written already. So, what is the isentropic law? Isentropic law that I have already written above in the step, T3 upon T4 is equal to P3 upon P4 bracket raised to power gamma minus 1 divided by gamma. So, I am replacing this T3 upon T4 with P3 upon P4 bracket raised to power gamma minus 1 divided by gamma. So, after replacing, I am keeping denominator in the denominator minus 1 as it is. Now, as you know, P3 is equal to P2 from the PV diagram, P4 is equal to P1 from the PV diagram. Again, I am replacing them. So, therefore, 1 divided by P2 upon P1 bracket raised to power gamma minus 1 divided by gamma. So, we know that P2 upon P1 can be called as a pressure ratio, or in case of P3 and P4 it is a expansion ratio. So, here I am replacing this P2 upon P1 by RP. So, RP raised to the power gamma minus 1 divided by gamma, where RP is compression or expansion ratio, that is P2 upon P1 divided by P3 upon P4. So, please remember the all notations, PV diagram and TS diagram, very important. Hope you have understood the derivation. So, what is the conclusion of this derivation is COP. Finally, we can say that it is nothing but the ratio of T4, temperature T4 divided by T3 minus T4, or COP is also represented by 1 divided by RP in terms of pressure ratio. So it can be written. So this is the final expression that we have to remember for solving the numericals. Now let us look into a few merits and demerits of air refrigeration system, because Bell-Coleman cycle and reversed Carnot cycle uses air as a working fluid. See, air is easily available, there is no cost for this, as we know it is non-toxic, inflammable, non-inflammable, sorry, and leakage of air is small. Okay. Then again compressor is employed, so air source for the compressor is not a problem. And again in case of air is very light per ton of refrigeration, air is working density of air is very low, so hence it is used in aircrafts. Air refrigeration cycles are used in aircrafts, because if we use any other liquid refrigerants, again it adds weight to the aircraft. So therefore air refrigeration is used. And see, these are the few again merits. And if you look into the demerits, it has low coefficient of performance and air circulation rate is relatively very large. So these are the demerits. Now let us look into the numericals. So a few numericals we can solve on the Bell-Coleman cycle. So first numerical is, let me read the statement first. In a refrigeration plant, the working on a Bell-Coleman cycle, means it is working on a Bell-Coleman cycle, air is compressed to 5 bar from 1 bar. So we saw in the schematic diagram, so we compress the air from P1 to P2. So here final pressure is 5 bar, that is P2 is equal to 5 bar, initial pressure is 1 bar. The initial temperature is 10 degrees Celsius. After compression the air is cooled up to 20 degrees Celsius, means cooled up to 20 degrees Celsius in a cooler before expanding back to a pressure of 1 bar. Cooler is nothing but condenser here. So air is cooled till 20 degrees Celsius, means at the condenser outlet the temperature of the air is 20 degrees Celsius. Then determine the theoretical COP of the plant and refrigeration effect. They have asked us to calculate refrigeration effect and COP of the plant. So he has given the Cp value and Cv value for calculation of gamma. So now let us discuss about its solution. So here as we know, this is the PV diagram for the Bell-Coleman cycle, this is TS diagram for the Bell-Coleman cycle. Just recapture these diagrams and then again assign the notations for the given data. Now in this plant we can write the higher pressure, that is P2 is equal to P3. P2 is equal to P3 is equal to 5 bar. Higher pressure P2 is equal to P3 is 5 bar here, and again P1 is equal to P4, this is 1 bar they have given in the problem statement, and initial temperature is 10 degrees Celsius. So I am converting it to Kelvin, 10 plus 273 is 283 Kelvin. So then final temperature is that is condenser temperature is 20 degrees Celsius, that is 20 plus 273, that is 293 Kelvin he has given. So then another given data is Cp and Cv. Cp and Cv is given. So now here let T2 and T4 be the corresponding temperatures as we know in the cycle. So how to solve this problem? First of all we want COP for the cycle. COP is T4. What is the COP expression? We have derived T4 upon T3 minus T4. So here T3 and T4 temperatures are unknown to us. T3 and T4 temperatures he has not given in this problem statement. How to find out T3 and T4? So using isentropic laws. See here we know that For any isentropic process, so this is the law that we can apply, that is T2 upon T1 is equal to P2 upon P1 raised to the power gamma minus 1 divided by gamma. So, for using this equation we need the value of gamma. So, gamma is Cp upon Cv and he has given the values, that is Cp as 1.005, Cv as 0.718. So, it will be 1.4. So, if he has mentioned Cp and Cv value, we have to use that, otherwise standard value for the gamma in any adiabatic process or isentropic process is 1.4, we can use that. So, for isentropic compression process 1 to 2, then we will apply the isentropic law, T2 upon T1 is equal to P2 upon P1 bracket raised to the power gamma minus 1 divided by gamma. So, P2 is 5 bar in the problem statement he has given, P1 is 1 bar. So, gamma is 1.4. After substituting all the values, I will get the T2 upon T1 as 1.584. So, now here why we calculated is, I want the value of T4 temperature, that is for for calculation of T4 temperature again I will apply the isentropic law, that is T3 upon T4 is equal to P3 upon P4 bracket raised to the power gamma minus 1 divided by gamma. Again P3 is 5 bar he has given in the problem statement and P4 is 1 bar, again the temperature ratio is same. So, therefore, T4 is equal to T3 upon 1.584. I can use algebra and write this, and T3 we already know it is 293 Kelvin. So, we have already calculated. So, T4 finally I will be able to calculate it as 185 Kelvin. Why we applied the law, isentropic law, we must understand it, because we want to calculate the unknown temperatures. See, in the problem statement T3 is given, for your information I have just reopened this, 293 Kelvin is the T3 temperature that we used in this slide. So, finally, T4 we are able to calculate it as 185 Kelvin. So, once we calculate that, we can calculate the COP of the plant. We have derived in the derivation the COP for the Bell-Coleman cycle was derived as T4 divided by T3 minus T4. So, T4 is 185 Kelvin divided by T3 is 293 and T4 is 185. So, this is the COP for the cycle. Just operate the calculator and confirm the values. And again we are supposed to calculate the refrigeration effect, of this plant. So, that is Cp into T1 minus T4. So, we know for the refrigeration cycle it is H1 minus H4, refrigeration effect is H1 minus H4. Therefore, we can write it as Cp into T1 minus T4, and we know the values of temperatures T1 and T4. T1 it was given as 283 Kelvin and T4 it was given as it is calculated as 185. So, finally, I am able to calculate the refrigeration effect, that is heat absorbed per kg of air circulation inside this Bell-Coleman cycle as 98.5 kilojoule per kg. So, this is the answer. So, here one thing we should remember is we need to just observe the problem statement and we need to write the given data, assign the notations as per the cycle notations. Then we need to understand what we are supposed to calculate. In this for example, in this problem statement there was no T4. To calculate T4 we applied the isentropic law and we calculated T4. So, then we used the derived formula, that is COP formula, and refrigeration effect we knew that and we calculated the unknown things. Let us look into another variety of the problem on Bell-Coleman cycle. So, here we have the problem statement in front of us, an air refrigeration system working on Bell-Coleman cycle with 15 TOR. So, that is 15 tons of refrigeration capacity. So, here refrigeration capacity is also called as total refrigeration effect. Total refrigeration effect. So which can be defined as mass flow rate of refrigerant in kg per second into the refrigeration effect, that is H1 minus H4, refrigeration effect, that is H1 minus H4, kilojoule of heat energy absorbed from refrigerated space per kg of air circulation. Refrigeration effect is kilojoule per kg. So kg cancels here, kilojoule per second is kilowatt, that is the refrigeration capacity, total refrigeration effect. And again, it is, if I mention refrigerator capacity or total refrigeration effect in terms of TOR, so that is how much he has mentioned in this problem statement, 15 TOR. So that is 15 TOR he has mentioned. This is the total refrigeration effect or tons of refrigeration. Refrigerator capacity is 15 TOR, 15 tons of refrigeration. So which is equal to 15 into 1 TOR. I can write it as 1 ton of refrigeration. We know that 15 into 1 ton of refrigeration is, we know, 210 kilojoule per minute. So this is how we convert the data according to our requirement. So now this is the refrigerator capacity in the present problem statement. Has its pressure range, means we are compressing the air from 1 bar to 10 bar in this problem statement, that is P2 is equal to 10 bar and P1 is equal to 1 bar. Air enters the compressor at minus 5 degrees Celsius, that is T1 temperature he has given at the compressor inlet minus 5 degrees Celsius, or you can say it is a cold chamber temperature, and enters the expander at 25 degrees Celsius, that is condenser outlet temperature. So entry to the expander, that is entry to the turbine, is nothing but what? Exit of condenser. So that is 25 degrees Celsius he has given, that is T3 he has given 25 degrees Celsius. Assuming isentropic expansion and compression. So assuming isentropic expansion, compression, find the COP and airflow rate and power required. So very important parameters. Please remember what all we need to calculate. COP we need to calculate, and at what rate the air is flowing inside this Bell-Coleman cycle, and again power required to run this cycle. So 3 important parameters we are supposed to calculate. So now let us look into the solution here. Here first we need to draw the PV diagram and temperature entropy diagram. This is the PV diagram and temperature entropy diagram for a Bell-Coleman cycle. So as we know, we need to write first the given data as per the problem statement. So total refrigeration effect, just now we have discussed total refrigeration effect, TRE, in the problem statement is 15 tons of refrigeration he has given. So 1 ton of refrigeration is 15 into 210 kilojoule per minute. So if I operate the calculator, I will be able to calculate it as 3150 kilojoule per minute. So here the pressure is 1 bar. So this pressure, minimum pressure is 1 bar he has given in the problem statement. So we have written it, and P2 is 10 bar, we have written P2 is 10 bar, and T1 he has given it as minus 5 degrees Celsius. T1 he has given it as minus 5 degrees Celsius, minus 5 plus 273 is 268 Kelvin, T1 temperature we noted. So then T2 is 25 degrees Celsius. T3, I am sorry, this is T3 has 25 degrees Celsius, that is at the condenser outlet or expander inlet is state 3. So it is at 25 degrees Celsius in the problem statement he had given. So this is 25 plus 273, 298 Kelvin, and we are supposed to calculate COP, mass flow rate of refrigerant, MR, then power required, that is P we are supposed to calculate. So first let us look into the COP for this Bell-Coleman cycle. So as we know, COP is given by T4 divided by T3 minus T4. So T4 divided by T3 minus T4. So we need to find the unknown temperature, that is first T4 we need to find out because T4 is not known to us. T3 is given in the problem statement. So, to find T4 what we do is, as usual in the previous problem we have understood. So, to find the T4 we apply the isentropic law between 3 and 4, that is T3 upon T4 is equal to P3 upon P4 bracket S for gamma surrounded by gamma. So, from this I will be able to calculate T4, that is T4 is equal to T3 upon, this is T3 upon P2 divided by P1 bracket S for gamma surrounded by gamma. So, we know that P2 and P1 is 1 bar, gamma value 1.4 minus 1 divided by 1.4, and T3 he has given it as 298 Kelvin in the problem statement. So, finally, if I operate the calculator for this value, so I will be able to calculate T4 as 154.35 Kelvin. So, now once I found T4, so we can calculate COP now. T4 divided by T3 minus T4, that is 154.35 divided by 298 minus 154.35. So, this is finally COP is calculated as 1.07. So, just this is a repetition of the previous problem that we have discussed. Now, we need to calculate the COP. So, we are remained with the COP, that is COP is to be calculated. So, whenever total refrigeration effect is given, so we need to remember whenever total refrigeration effect is given, we can define COP as total refrigeration effect, that is total refrigeration effect divided by work input. Total refrigeration effect can be written as kilowatt. So, work input, that is work input in the form of a kilowatt, that is nothing but what? Input power to the compressor. So, how total refrigeration effect can be written as kilowatt we have discussed. So, finally, it was 1 TOR is equal to 210 kilojoule per minute. So, minute can be expressed in seconds, kilojoule per second is kilowatt. So, power, input power can also be in kilowatt. So, therefore, COP can also be calculated. So, this is another method of calculating COP. Please remember this point. So, that is COP is equal to total refrigeration effect divided by input power to the refrigerator. So, same concept we will use now to calculate in this problem statement, that is COP is equal to power supplied. So, we will use the same expression for calculating power supplied, I am sorry. So, here total refrigeration effect divided by power supplied, we can use the same expression. So, now we know the COP. So, we have calculated already COP, I am sorry for that. So, COP is equal to total refrigeration effect divided by power supplied. So, COP we have calculated it as a 1.07 in the previous step, and total refrigeration effect now 3150 is kilojoule per minute value. Kilojoule per minute value, just observe here. So, this is a conversion that we had done. This was the conversion, 15 TOR is equal to 15 into 210, 3150 kilojoule per minute it is. So, how to convert this on kilojoule per second? So, 1 minute equal to 60 seconds. So, that is the reason. So, 3150 divided by 60 we have done, divided by input power to the compressor P, I am letting it as P. So, therefore, P is equal to this value divided by 1.07. So, finally, I will be able to calculate input power to the compressor as 49.06 kilowatt. So, here we are remained with the third bit, that is air flow rate of the or mass flow rate of the air inside this refrigeration cycle. So, here we already know that refrigeration effect per kg of air can be calculated. So, how to calculate the refrigeration effect per kg of air? From the TS diagram only we can understand. So, that is nothing but H1 minus H4, that is the refrigeration effect per kg of air, and that will be Cp into T1 minus T4, Cp into T1 minus T4, where Cp value is 1.005 for the air, T1 he had given it as a 268 Kelvin and T4 154.35 that we have calculated. So, finally, we will be able to calculate refrigeration effect per kg of air, that is 114.28 kilojoule per kg. It means that whenever we circulate 1 kg of air inside the Bell-Coleman cycle, so it will be able to absorb 114.38 kilojoule of heat energy from the refrigerated space. That is the meaning of this. So, then again whenever total refrigeration effect is mentioned in the problem statement, we can write total refrigeration effect as, in terms of refrigeration effect per kg and mass flow rate, total refrigeration effect as mass flow rate of air or refrigerant, mass flow rate of air or refrigerant MA into refrigeration effect per kg of air, per kg of air. So, this is the formula that we must remember. Please remember this. What I am stressing here is total refrigeration effect is equal to mass flow rate of air that is being circulated inside the Bell-Coleman cycle into refrigeration effect per kg of air. So, here if you substitute the units, MEA that is mass flow rate of air is kg per second into refrigeration effect is kilojoule per kg of air. Kg cancels. So, I am able to get the unit in kilojoule per second, that is total refrigeration effect unit. So, this concept we can use it for calculation of flow rate of refrigerant. So, therefore, from that equation we can write mass flow rate of air MEA is equal to total refrigeration effect divided by refrigeration effect per kg of air. So, therefore, I am able to substitute the values in kilojoule per minute. Total refrigeration effect he has given it as 3150 kilojoule per minute and refrigeration effect per kg of air is 114.28 kilojoule per kg of air. So, then finally, I am able to calculate mass flow rate of air as 27 kg per minute in this cycle. So, this is the mass flow rate of air per minute. If I consider second, so I will be the value will change per second, kg per second value also can be calculated. So, this is about the solution. So, what all we did in this problem, first we read the problem statement and we assigned the notations, wrote the given data referring to or remembering the PV and TS diagrams in our mind. Then we calculated the unknown temperature, that is T4, using the isentropic law. So, then we understood the another formula, that is COP can also be defined in this way, that is total refrigeration effect divided by power supplied. Whenever total refrigeration effect is given, we need to refer this formula. So, then again we calculated the mass flow rate of air referring to this formula, that is we understood the new concepts as well as we solved the problem also parallelly. So, please remember them. So, very important concepts in this problem. See, this is the one more similar problem that has appeared in your VTU question papers. Okay. So, similar problem, please take a pause while playing the video, then read the problem statement and understand the given data, almost similar problem. Okay. So, then solve it. So, this is the solution also that is given, simple problem. It was appeared for 8 marks in your exam, wherever similar steps are there. T4 we have calculated, refrigeration effect per kg, and again mass of air circulation per minute. This formula we have already discussed in the previous problem, and this is COP of the cycle. So, please pause and cross check all the values. So, then let us understand the next problem statement. This is a very important problem. So, related to actual Bell-Coleman cycle, means we do not have compressor efficiency 100% as we had in the previous two problems, and turbine efficiency or expander efficiency is not also 100% here. So, why efficiency is not 100%? Because of losses that occur inside the compressor and turbine. So, if whenever we consider the actual efficiencies of these two devices, how to solve the problem on Bell-Coleman cycle, we will understand from this slide. So, here let us understand the problem statement first. So, in an aircraft cooling system, so as we have discussed Bell-Coleman cycle application we find in aircrafts, because aircrafts use air for as a refrigerant. So, since they can't use a liquid refrigerant, since it adds weight to the aircraft body. So, now air enters the compressor. So, first it enters the compressor at 0.1 megapascal and 4 degrees Celsius, and it is compressed to 0.3 megapascal in the compressor with an isentropic efficiency of 72%. See here, efficiency is not 100%. So, he has given the compressor efficiency as 72% after being cooled to 55 degrees Celsius at constant pressure in a heat exchanger. Means after cooling in the cooler to 55 degrees Celsius, that is coming out at the inlet of the expander, that is turbine, the temperature of the air is 55 degrees Celsius. The air then expands in a turbine to 0.1 megapascal again back with an isentropic efficiency. This is turbine efficiency has given 78%, and the low temperature air absorbs cooling load of 3 tons of refrigeration at constant pressure before re-entering the compressor. So, then again the low temperature air after expansion from the turbine, it absorbs 3 tons of refrigeration, means the total refrigeration effect of this plant is 3 ton of refrigeration. So, here assuming air to be an ideal gas, so he has mentioned assuming air to be ideal gas, determine COP for this cycle and refrigeration COP of refrigerator, and again during power required and mass flow rate of air. So, power how much power is required to operate this refrigerator and mass flow rate of refrigerant. The only change between the previous problem and this problem is here the efficiencies of compressor and turbine, they have been mentioned. So, how to use them we must understand from this problem solution, and we should solve this problem. So, this is very important problem. Such problems may appear in your VTU. See, let us look into the solution. So, here this is the schematic diagram for the problem, and again we can draw the modified TS diagram for this from the Breton power cycles from the module number 1. We know that the variations are indicated with dotted line. So, these are the deviations because of losses. So, this is the TS diagram which changes in this way. So, this is these are the constant pressure lines, 1 to 2 is a compression. So, this is deviated line actual because of compressor efficiency, and again 3 to 4 is isentropic process, this is actual process 3 to 4 dash, this is 3 to 4 dash. So, now wherein we can define the compressor efficiency during 1 to 2 process. Okay. So, compressor efficiency can be defined as smaller value by larger value, that is H2 minus H1 is smaller value divided by H2 dash minus H1. So, the same expression can be written as enthalpies I will replace in terms of temperatures, that is smaller value is Cp into T2 minus T1 divided by Cp into T2 dash minus T1. So, Cp if I cancel, the compressor efficiency is given by this formula. Okay. So, we will remember this and we will use this. So, again for expander, if I write the expression for expander between 3 and 4 process, here expander between 3 and 4 process, that is efficiency of expander, or you can also write it as a turbine eta suffix T. So, which is equal to, the smaller is H3 minus H4 dash. If you just observe the length of the path, H3 minus H4 dash is lesser or smaller one divided by H3 minus H4. So, then if I express this enthalpy values in terms of temperatures, so I can write this as Cp into T3 minus T4 dash divided by, this is Cp into T3 minus T4. Cp cancels. So, I can write turbine efficiency as eta suffix T is equal to T3 minus T4 dash divided by T3 minus T4. So, this concept we have already discussed in the gas power cycles, and just it is a repetition for you. So, how this is how we can remember the expressions for turbine efficiency and compressor efficiency. So, these equations we will use in while solving this problem statement. So, now let us assign the notations as for the given statement. So, that is P1 is 0.1 megapascal, he has mentioned 0.1 megapascal P1. So, that is nothing but if I convert that, it is 1 bar. P2 is 0.3 megapascal, again if you converted this as a 3 bar. Megapascal means 1 megapascal is equal to 10 to the power of 6 Pascal. So, this can be written as, so therefore 0.1 megapascal, let me write this as 0.1 megapascal, 1 megapascal is equal to 0.1 into 10 to the power of 6 Pascal it is. So, that is if you operate the calculator and divide the value by 100, it will be 1 bar. Similarly, you convert this also. Now, here he has given the temperature as T1 as 4 degree Celsius plus 273, I am converting it to Kelvin, and T3 as 55 degree Celsius, again it is 328 Kelvin. Again as usual, to find out the unknown temperatures, that is T2 and T4 we need to find. So, but here the cycle is actual cycle. First we will apply the isentropic law and find out the T2 first. From process 1 to 2, we know the law T2 upon T1 is equal to P2 upon P1 bracket H4 gamma is 1 divided by gamma. Then finally T2 divided by T1 is 277 Kelvin, it is given data. So, finally after substituting I will be able to calculate T2 as 379 Kelvin, but I do not need T2 here because T2 dash is the requirement, because he has given the compressor efficiency formula. So, as per our discussion on the compressor efficiency, eta C is given by T2 minus T1 divided by T2 dash minus T1. So, eta T he has given it eta C that is compressor efficiency is given as 72%. So, 0.72 is equal to T2, I will substitute, we have just now obtained it 379.14, and T2 dash from this expression I will be able to calculate T2 dash as 418.8 Kelvin. This is the T2 dash value, actual value. So, from 3 to 4 again I have to find out T4 value. So, for finding T4 and T4 dash, I do not need just T4. So, I want T4 dash. So, I will use the process 3 to 4 and I will apply the law T3 upon T4. This is T3 upon T4 divided by P3 upon P4 bracket raised to the power gamma divided by gamma, where P3 and P4 I will replace with P2 and P1. So, for Bell-Coleman cycle you can replace it, you know. So, then again I substitute the temperature T3, it is 328 Kelvin given, and T4 I wanted, and just operate the calculator I will get T4 as 239.64 Kelvin. From T4 again using turbine efficiency expression. So, in the beginning of this solution I have told you, so how expression is to be written. So, that is eta T is equal to T3 minus T4 dash divided by T3 minus T4, and turbine efficiency is given as 0.78%. I will substitute the known temperature values, and T4 dash I am able to calculate it as 259.07 Kelvin. So, once I find the T4 dash and T1, T2 dash, so I will be able to calculate the unknown values. So, first refrigeration effect per kg Cp into T1 minus T4 dash. So, where we have the values of T1 and T4 dash, Cp I will substitute as 1.005, and I will be able to calculate refrigeration effect per kg. And we know the mass flow rate of refrigerant can be calculated using the formula total refrigeration effect divided by refrigeration effect per kg. So, what is the total refrigeration effect in this present problem? It is 3 ton of refrigeration. So, 3 ton of refrigeration, that is 3 into 1 ton of refrigeration. I can write it as 3 into 210 kilojoule per minute, and refrigeration effect per kg we have calculated it as 18.01. So, we will substitute here. So, finally, I will be able to calculate mass flow rate of refrigerant as 34.96 kg per minute. So, now network developed here we had discussed while discussing the theoretical cycle, network developed is compressor work minus expander work. So, or which is also turbine work. So, now we can calculate Cp into T2 dash minus T1. So, here I am considering for the network compressor work, because he has mentioned compressor efficiency and turbine efficiency. So, therefore, the compressor work is Cp into T2 dash minus T1, because here compressor is H2 dash minus H1. I will let you know from the TS diagram. Here TS diagram, here we have the compressor work. I am sorry, I am sending it inside. This is the compressor work, that is H2 dash minus H1 is the compressor work inlet. So, therefore, compressor work is Cp into T2 dash minus T1, and again expander work is expander work. So, I will show you here. So, this is Cp into T3 minus T4 dash expander work, it will give to us, that is T3 minus T4 dash. So, here the same expressions are written, and the known values, calculated values are substituted. So, finally, I will be able to calculate it as network developed as 73.3 kilojoule per kg. Just pause and calculate the values. And again, driving power is, we know that power is given by mass flow rate of refrigerant and network. We know from the gas power cycles, mass flow rate of air into network. So, that is mass flow rate of air is in kilojoule per minute. So, that is 34.96 kilojoule per minute it is. So, to convert minute into seconds I have written 60 here. So, that is 34.96 divided by 60 into network, that is 73.3 kilojoule per kg. So, finally, the driving power required is 42.7 kilowatt. So, then again we will apply the formula that we have already discussed. COP is total refrigeration effect divided by work supplied. Total refrigeration effect is 3 into 210 kilojoule per minute it is, divided by 42.7, it is in kilowatt. To convert it in kilojoule per minute, I will multiply it by 60. So, finally, COP is calculated as 0.245. Let us look into another problem. VTU problem it is, very important problem on Bell-Coleman cycle. Here an air refrigeration plant is to be designed according to the following specifications. So, what is the specification is pressure of air at the inlet to the cycle is 101 kilopascal. So, compressor inlet pressure he has given, this has a 101 kilopascal, and pressure of air at the compressor outlet, that is 404 Kelvin. At compressor inlet here it is 101 kilopascal, at the compressor outlet here it is 404 kilopascal. So, pressure loss in the intercooler. So, we have the intercooler here, this is intercooler. So, there is a loss of pressure inside the intercooler, that is 12 kilopascal is lost. So, why the pressure is lost during flow? There are fluid flow losses, that is because of that there is a loss of pressure, 12 kilopascal is lost there. So, then again after that the air enters the turbine. So, after entry into the turbine there is a pressure loss in cold chamber also. So, as we have seen, in cold chamber there is a 3 kilopascal of pressure is lost, and temperature of the air at the compressor inlet. So, compressor inlet temperature, that is the ambient temperature, T1 is 6 degree Celsius is given. So, at the compressor inlet 6 degree Celsius, and temperature of air at the turbine inlet here at T3 he has given it as a 27 degree Celsius. So, please recall the PV and TS diagram, then you will be able to assign the notations. Then compressor and turbine efficiency he has given. So, the very important thing is we must know that whether the given problem is related to actual Bell-Coleman cycle or theoretical Bell-Coleman cycle. So, here since turbine efficiency is given, we need to consider turbine efficiency and compressor efficiency into consideration. So, if this is the given data, we are supposed to determine the COP for this plant, then again power requirement to produce 1 ton of refrigeration, means here total refrigeration effect is 1 ton of refrigeration. Then again air circulation rate per ton of refrigeration, very important problem on Bell-Coleman cycle. So, here first let us draw the schematic diagram and TS diagram and write the given data. Writing given data is very important for solving this problem. So, here we have the given data. T1 he has given it as 6 degree Celsius, temperature at inlet he has given it as a 6 degree Celsius, 6 plus 273 is 279 Kelvin. T3 he has given it as 27 degree Celsius, that is 300 Kelvin. Then P1, that is pressure at the inlet of the compressor, 101 kilopascal he has given. P2 after compression, here it is 404 kilopascal, here it is 404 kilopascal at P2. So, P2 we have written here. Then again P3 we can calculate the pressure at point 3. P3 is, so while air is moving from 2 to 3 inside the intercooler, there is a loss of 12 kilopascal of pressure. So, therefore, final pressure P3 will be equal to here loss plus P2. So, that is the reason P3 is equal to P2 minus loss it is, I am sorry, P2 minus loss, that is higher pressure minus loss it is, that is 404 minus 12 is 392 kilopascal. So, then again we have P4 as a requirement. So, we have the pressure P4 here, this is higher pressure, and there is a loss in evaporator or cold chamber. So, therefore, P4 plus loss will be equal to P1. So, that is P4 is equal to P1 plus loss we have written, that is P4 is 101 kilopascal and loss is 3 kilopascal in the cold chamber. So, finally, I will be able to calculate P4 as 104 kilopascal. in this problem statement, this is the main step. Writing P3 and P4 is the main step of this solution. So then again he has given total refrigeration effect as 1 TOR, that is 1 TOR equal to 210 kilojoule per minute, we know that. Then compressor efficiency, turbine efficiency has given it as 85%, and we are supposed to calculate COP, power and mass flow rate of refrigerant. So this is the problem statement. Solution. So we know that we need to find out the unknown temperature, that is T2 dash. Since compressor efficiency and turbine efficiencies are given, actual temperatures T2 dash and T4 dash are to be found. For finding T2 dash, first we must find T2 by using the isentropic law. So that is we have this relation, and we will substitute the known data, that is T1 is 279, and we will be able to calculate T2. This is a repetitive step from the previous problems, and I will not deal in detail with that. So then again compressor efficiency, here T2, how to write this efficiency formula also we have discussed in the previous problem. Just observe that and substitute the known data in this, then we will be able to calculate T2 dash. So then again from 3 to 4 process, so I will be able to calculate, I will be able to apply the isentropic law between 3 and 4, and I will be able to substitute the known data. Please remember, this is very important step. While substituting the values in 3 to 4 process, we are supposed to substitute P3 and P4. So you substitute the values that we have calculated in the given data, P3 and P4. So P3 392, P4 is 104. So how to obtain these values we have discussed in the given data. So then finally I will be able to calculate T4 as 205.34 Kelvin. So then I will use turbine efficiency formula and substitute the known values. I will be able to calculate T4 dash as 219.54. So once I find these values, so I will be able to calculate the refrigeration effect, that is T1 minus T4 dash. It is not T1 minus T4, please remember T4 dash, because it is the actual cycle problem. So T4 dash we have calculated. So refrigeration effect per kg, and mass flow rate of refrigerant or air, MEA is given by total refrigeration effect divided by refrigeration per kg, as we have discussed in the previous problem. And finally I am able to substitute the values, and this is 3.51 kg per minute. So net work supplied is compressor work minus expander work. So here Cp into T2 dash minus T1, Cp into T3 minus T4 dash, this is. So hence substitute the known temperature values and Cp for this, and I will be able to calculate the network. Then power required is mass flow rate of air into network. From the Breton cycle we know that. So mass flow rate of air is kg per minute here. So divide it by 60 to convert it into seconds, and network is 79.46. So finally power required is 4.65 kilowatt. So this is the solution of the problem. So here just please remember, the pressure losses are considered in this problem. That is the only one difference from the previous problem. So I request you to please pause the video for each problem and sit with the calculator and solve the problem. So in this video we discussed about the theory of a Bell-Coleman cycle, PV, its a schematic diagram, TS diagram and PV diagram we have understood, and its air refrigeration cycle merits and demerits we have discussed, and we solved initially the simple problems on Bell-Coleman cycle, and we understood what is total refrigeration effect, and how to calculate mass flow rate of air in a Bell-Coleman cycle, and again how to consider pressure losses in the intercooler device as well as cold chamber device. So, this is all from my side. So, if you have any queries and doubts, please feel free to contact me. Thank you for watching.